back, segment 3. That's right. It's a snowy, sip 'em slow Sunday. The redoubtable and high question one. Arjun Miliancio, segment 3. We were talking about
to smoke the Java mints.
that too.
Dude, don't do it again. You got to start smoking that thing.
We were talking about the Angel Reese videos that I've been sending him, and the funniest thing about it is not the fact that she's throwing up all these bricks. That's funny, but the announcers, the two guys announcing, bang, bricks.
That's not real, right? They got somebody dubbing it?
I don't know, but it's hysterical. It makes it funny because then you watch these bricks. Here's my great drop step, bang. She's like trips over herself. The ball goes over the backboard. Why am I wide open? Because I stink.
Have you seen the ones where?
It's so
Here,
bad.
I'll switch your lighters because you need this.
I do.
You need this. Let me get that one.
Yeah.
Have you seen the ones where like she has Angel Reese Puffs or Angel
What?
Reese's Puffs cereal? Have you seen that?
No.
Well, I don't know if she really does.
Is that true?
I'm seeing all these like videos on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
Where people are buying the Angel Reese Puffs.
Yeah.
So it says Reese's Puffs, right?
Okay.
Got her picture on it. So they buy them, and then they come home, and when they pour their cereal, like they miss the bowl real bad.
Yeah.
And they pour it all over.
Yeah.
It's like they pour it all over the counter.
Yeah.
Is that real? Is it? I don't think I've seen them in the store.
I haven't seen him. Not that I've been looking for him. Like, why the fuck? Like, if you're thinking about cereal, the Angel Reese is the last thing popping into your head.
But I'm saying, if you're walking down the aisle and you see her face, I mean, she's got a great face.
I mean,
you see her face on a box of cereal.
I've been down the cereal many times since I didn't hear this quote, but I haven't seen Angel Reese anywhere in a cereal. And again, I wasn't looking, to be fair. I had, guys, I think as we get older, because we know what will happen if we stop in that cereal aisle, we'll never get out of it. Because guys that's probably the guy's hidden dirty secret is we all love cereal. All men love cereal. And they all have a favorite, and it's bad for you. It's so bad, but it tastes so fucking good. Guys don't care, but they've all got their go-to. So
Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah. That's
just get off my lawn.
Love Fruity Pebbles. And I love Captain Crunch with the Crunch Berries is wonderful, too. I mean,
delicious.
I love it.
Dude, peanut butter crunch?
Yeah. Like, I mean, I guess, we never
that
asked.
was better than Reese's
Did we
Puffs.
ever ask the question, is there a bad cereal?
It's definitely bad cereal.
Is there? What do you think? I'm sure there's one. I'm thinking of all these. My brain comes back to this.
So I think depending on who you ask, some people hate Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
Well, I was going to say something like that, bland, boring, no sugar on it.
To me, there's something about soggy, bland cornflakes that I really like. I don't know why.
Okay.
Same thing. Regular Cheerios, soggy, I love.
You know what the problem is? It's not that they taste bad, but compared to all the other ones, they taste plain. There's nothing in them there's nothing to sweeten them. They're just there. And it doesn't mean that there's
something
taste.
I like about that because it's not a bowl of sugar. You know?
And that's fine.
But if I'm going bowl of sugar, okay.
Yeah.
There's so many good ones. Fruity Pebbles is my all-time favorite. But then you think about, like you said, Captain Crunch Crunch Berries, Rice Krispies I love. Plain Rice Krispies. Damn it. I just lost one. Oh, Cinnamon Toast Crunch is insane.
Apple Jacks. I've always loved Apple Jacks.
I mean, it's good.
No, but I don't feel that way about the plain frosted flakes or cornflakes.
Right.
But something about Apple Jacks. I mean, I love apples. My favorite fruits. Maybe that's it. But
look, I'll crush some Apple Jacks. I'm not saying I didn't crush them.
I love Apple Jacks.
I don't think they're in my top 5.
I didn't say they're in my top 5. I love them. But anything in the top 10.
What do you think about Corn Pops? I always really liked Corn Pops once they got soggy.
They've got different.
Gotta have my Pops.
They have chocolate Corn Pops and they have blueberry Corn Pops.
No,
they don't.
No,
you sure?
Corn Pops is the one that's just those yellow little like diamond chunks. Gotta have my Pops. You must not like them.
Probably not.
Lucky Charms is always a fan favorite. Good one. Even though
when they put the purple horseshoes in there too.
Well, yeah.
I was like, yeah.
But when you look at Lucky Charms, half the box is something like, why are we even messing around with this stuff? Like, the marshmallows are so delectable in the milk.
Yeah.
Step up the rest of the box.
Frankenberry.
Oh, Frankenberry. The blue box?
Yeah, blueberry. That's blueberry.
Blueberry's
and
good.
Count Chocula.
Oh, man.
Those 3.
Just like
Timeless.
Is Count Chocula Fruity Pebbles? No, Cocoa Pebbles. Those are good. Cocoa Pebbles are good. It's pretty much, you know.
Frankenberry. I just, oh man.
Oh, Frankenberry's delicious. It's just the name.
Yeah, you just know.
Dude, Blueberry, the blue box.
Awesome.
Wasn't there a pink one?
I don't know.
Like Mrs. Frankenberry?
I don't know. It might have been.
Let's see.
I don't know, but I'm just telling you, it's hard. I can probably count on one hand the number of cereals I don't like. On one hand, I wouldn't even.
Frankenberry was pink.
Yeah. Oh, that's what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking about a female. Yeah, I mean, but in terms of how many you like, or putting in a top 10 is probably hard.
It really is.
It probably is hard. Because you could have a top 20 and a top, I mean, just saying.
So here's a controversial one. Some people hate Raisin Bran.
I love Raisin Bran.
Dude, the fucking raisins.
I love Raisin Bran.
When you let the milk get up in the raisins,
Yeah,
they're like tough to chew.
And they're frosted in sugar. And it's like, oh my God.
Well, but actually the 2 scoops one, you got to get 2 scoops.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you just give me that plain ass bran,
no, you need the 2 scoops.
You need raisins all over that
need
bitch.
The raisins. So they go. That's like peanut butter.
And it's like a tough chew.
Yeah.
It's like beyond al dente.
Those 2, it's like peanut butter and jelly. Those 2.
Yeah.
With the raisins with those.
Yeah.
It's perfect. Now one without the other is not nearly as good.
Well, I would say both peanut butter and jelly are better on their own than bran of Raisin Bran. And even raisins by themselves. Like nobody just wants to eat raisins.
It's an interesting topic.
They need each other.
They need each other.
They really do. Because I mean, who liked having a little tiny square pack of raisins in your lunch? Nobody. You're digging out.
Actually, the California Little Red Box is good.
Yeah, but I mean, you're digging out. They're gone in a minute. They're sticky. When they're hard in that cereal and you're gritting to, oh man, they're delicious.
They are. I love Raisin Bran.
Delectable.
I understand anybody doesn't like Raisin Bran, but again, if you don't like raisins, then that would.
Well, you need the 2 scoops.
Yeah.
It's probably not a top 10.
Because I know there are people that don't like raisins.
I don't
Maybe
think
that's it.
2 scoops Raisin Brands has a chance, but I don't think it's a top 10.
It's close. I don't know if it does.
Now, well, as many people that don't like Kellogg's Corn Flakes, Frosted Flakes is a top 10 cereal.
The Tiger.
Tony the Tiger. Just based on Tony the
Tiger's
Tiger's respect in the mascot world,
he is an icon.
Top 10.
Tony the Tiger is an icon,
dude.
In the mascot world, he is.
Dude, when Joel and I did these debates about the cereal,
everybody knows Tony the Tiger.
Dude, you should have witnessed my demolishing him when it was. I'm trying to think who it was. It was. So he had Fruit Loops,
which are good.
I had Rice Krispies. Okay. And he was blowing Toucan Sam to the moon and back, just blowing him. And then he made the biggest mistake of his cereal debating career and said, "Who even is the mascot for Rice Krispies?" And I went, I've got him right where I wanted. Like, I had written all this stuff I was going to say about Rice Krispies, and then he said that, and I said, you lost all credibility in that moment when you asked who represented Rice Krispies. Because in the history of trios, you have Destiny's Child, Run DMC. I mean, I'm sure you can find many a trio better.
Sure.
But right up there in the pack is Snapple, Crackle, and Pop, you dunce.
Snap, Crackle, Pop.
Snap, Crackle, Pop is one of the best. I don't think there's a better triple.
It's like
mascot.
The triple Lindy.
Is there?
I think it's the triple Lindy.
It's literally the best triple mascot there ever was.
I think it's the triple Linding of mascots.
Them fucking crisping up their little rice cereal together, Snap, Crackle, and Pop. You actually hear them in the bowl.
You do.
You know
That's the thing.
You know when you first pour it,
you hear it,
and
it sounds like popcorn in a way.
It's like Snap, Crackle, Pop.
It's awesome. Yeah.
And you didn't know that.
That's bad, Joe.
Yikes.
I can't defend you, Joe.
I mean, that was like Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp.
Yeah.
Skip Bayless just put his foot in his mouth.
Yeah. As usual.
Dude, did you hear about this big scandal that's coming out about Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp, and Joy?
Who's Joy?
She's on that show, The Speak, with like Acho and Chase Daniels.
Is this a love triangle?
I think so.
What?
So not a love triangle.
I hope not.
But apparently somebody's accusing Skip Bayless of sexual harassment and like, I don't know, offering $1.5 million to sleep with him or something like that. Not Joy. And then somebody's accusing Joy of having slept with a bunch of people to get on these shows.
Oh, Lord.
Because she's on like a prime time. She's on a daytime sports talk show.
Yeah.
It's kind of. It's like.
So how did
it's
they
like
all
right
get,
after Nick Wrong.
So did they ever work together? All three of them on one show?
Apparently on First Take. Joy was hosting. Or not First Take. Undisputed or whatever.
Undisputed. Yeah, their show.
Yeah, their show.
Which ran for 7 years.
So people were saying there's a lot of harassment / toxicity, and
Well, that was a bad breakup.
people are saying her and Acho were
when
together.
and
or
the
something.
topic was Brady when it got out of hand, and because Bayless was always on Sharp about not giving Brady his due.
That's
then-
the one thing I kind of agree with Bayless on.
Yeah, and then when Sharp finally did it, but then he tried to, and Bayless was like, sit down. You're not even in his class. He's like, but I'm a Hall of Famer. He's like, yeah, you are, but he's the GOAT.
I think here's-
and look, I get why Sharp was mad, because Sharp's one of the greatest tight ends ever. But Tom Brady is the GOAT. It's like, you're not the greatest.
But I think it was also one of those things where
It's like,
I don't know why Shannon Sharp or Shay, whatever.
Yeah.
Does he go by Shay or
Club
Shannon?
Shay. That's the show that he does.
So I don't know if Shannon Sharp was like.
He came around. He did.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
Took him a while, but he did.
it was interesting because in that moment, I think he cornered himself by not giving credit to Brady.
Well, that's
And
he kind of put himself
in that
there.
corner.
Like,
And then Skip Bayless really just said the obvious.
Pounced.
And I think the tough part about it was like Shannon hated that a bitch like Skip Bayless was like telling him the truth like that. That's why he got all, God damn it, and he like took his glasses off.
yeah, he's like, sit down.
And then Skip,
Like, I'm gonna put my hands on.
and then Skip.
Oh, good,
acted-
you beat up an old man. Good for you, Shannon.
Well, Skip acted like, get the fuck out of my face. Like, I mean, if Shannon had reached across that table,
I wouldn't have blamed him.
he would have slapped him right out of that
He
shit.
just slapped him into the next life. But I'm just like,
And the way that he yelled back at him and said, put your glasses back on, that to me was like, he knew it was on air. Like, Shannon Sharp couldn't hit the guy.
no, she doesn't. No,
So
Shannon
he
Sharp
was-
goes to jail.
Right. And Shannon Sharp knew this is not that serious, but still, I don't like that bitch talking to me like that. I feel like that was the.
And Shannon, I've come around on you. I love you, but look, man, you were one of the last people to get on the Brady appreciation.
Dude, him and Ocho are great.
Yeah, they are. And you have a great. I love your show, and I think you know your shit. And I love. And, and you came around eventually. But did Bayless go too far? Probably. But was he saying necessarily wrong? Are you in Tom Brady's class? Nobody's in Tom Brady's class. It's not a knock on you. Nobody else is in his class really either.
7 Super Bowls.
7 Super Bowls, 5 Super Bowl MVPs. He had 3 Hall of Fame careers, not one. I mean, look at the records he owns, and he won. He's the one quarterback that won in both eras. Everyone forgets this. He won 3 before they changed the rules. And by the way, in 2003, they always show the Buffalo hit. Did you ever see this?
I mean, where he got hit and called timeout?
No, where the Buffalo guy hit him, and Brady's helmet went about 20 yards down the field. He popped him, and it was like they would never. That hit today, you're suspended. You're out. You're out weeks. And this is 2003 when the Pats were winning their second one. He's in Buffalo. He goes to slide, gives him, and the guy pops him. What? It was a dirty hit. They didn't call it, but because the rules hadn't changed yet. And fucking
Back then it was like, he's a runner.
Brady's helmet goes literally 15, 20 yards down the field. Brady pops back up and runs and gets his helmet, runs back to like it didn't even happen. And I'm like, damn.
Who's outside? Is that your daughter?
If it is, it's 3 girls. Oh God. Well,
It might be my daughter.
it's not your daughter. Is
It
it?
could because,
Are they giggling?
yeah.
A lot of giggles.
Maddie?
That's my daughter.
That's your daughter.
I know it already. They're walking in a winter wonderland.
Where
what
were
they're
we?
doing. We were talking about Shannon Sharp and how, look, I love Shannon Sharp. I've come around on him. Probably because you came around on Brady, to be true.
No. No. What happened with him was he spoke truth about Caitlin Clark.
Mm-hmm.
Not many people went as hard as him.
Oh, he defended her to the hill.
He really went hard.
And I fell in love with that day, Shannon, because that told me you got it. You get it. And not every athlete does, but you recognize, you do.
He tells it like he sees
He
it.
does, and that's fine. And usually, most part, he's right. I just don't understand why it took so long to come around on Brady. But that's neither here nor there. He did. So, but with Caitlin Clark, yeah, he's been one of her strongest defenders, and I give him a ton of credit for that.
Dude, when he called out, who is it? What's her name?
Cheryl,
The woman that hosts Stephen A's show. Molly.
Karam. Oh, he went after
He went
her.
hard. He said, no, Molly.
He lit Molly.
We're not going to let you back out of this one.
No, and I love Molly. But Molly was wrong because Molly first of all, she's biased because she's a UConn alum. And look, I love Paige Beckers. But Caitlin
got hurt
Clark.
tonight.
I know, I saw
Somebody
that.
jumped on her leg.
Yeah. Oh,
Dude, I hate when people dive at legs like that.
that's dirty. I hope
Stay off the floor.
I hope it's not serious.
We're going to talk about some basketball.
We are. We're talking about it right now. Caitlin Clark.
Oh,
we're
true.
there.
That's true.
We're talking.
That's true.
And we tie it all in here in the Dago Bar. I mean, it's what we do. We tie in.
Well, I guess we kind of got our basketball stuff out because we didn't think we were going to talk about it.
But this is good stuff because she just wins Woman of the Sports Athlete of the Year, and it was a Time magazine, whatever the hell it was. And of course, everybody's bitching about that. It's like, you're pathetic. You can't give this girl. I mean, just go look at the numbers.
Well, here's my thing.
Just look at the numbers.
Here's my thing. Look, we can all admit that race plays a role in how this whole dynamic has played out.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
The coverage of the league prior to this, even the fact that, like, we say we watch her because of her game, and that's true.
Yeah.
But we know of her game because of the way she was covered.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what this comes down to is that if athletes of all colors and races and were covered in the same way, you wouldn't see as much of an imbalance in terms of numbers here, because there have been some talented people that come through that fucking league. Enrique,
the best players in the world.
Dude, Enrique, have you seen Enrique play?
The best women's players in the world for the past 20 years have been coming through that league.
And we just haven't really gotten to see them. They haven't been spotlighted.
But there wasn't, and again...
But this one has been spotlighted, and...
Her game, because she reminds everybody of Steph Curry, let's be honest.
The deep three sucked us in.
No one had ever seen a girl do stuff like that. And...
Her strength in shooting
just amazing.
Is more than, I think, most guys I've ever seen. I'm not talking about NBA, but just in general.
Yep.
Most men that I know can't keep the same form and shoot from half court.
Off the dribble.
I mean, like, the strength in her chest and arms to just...
Do you know how hard it is to stand there, just catch it, step into it, and shoot it? She's making moves off the dribble. Mm-hmm. There's a defender on her a lot of the time. She's shaking free of a defender.
And hitting, 28-foot shots?
She's hitting 28-foot shots. Do you know how hard that is to do? For anyone. And I played, okay, at a high level. So you can't, trust me, that's hard to do for anybody.
24, 23-footers. It's just... And then when she goes into the league and everybody plays her full court defense the entire game, she stops shooting and she starts becoming maybe the best passer the league has ever fucking seen.
Look, I hold Sue Bird.
That's crazy.
To me, Sue Bird is the greatest point guard in women's basketball history. She is. Go look up her numbers.
Yeah, but in 20 years?
I'm saying she's in danger.
Yeah.
Okay? She's in mortal danger of losing that title because this girl, as a rookie,
her game's evolved.
Led the league in assists. Her game got better as the year went on. That team started 1-9.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? They were
She was the main catalyst.
They just added her. Yeah. And this is where this whole thing with Angel Reese goes off the rails. Angel Reese went to a playoff team.
Yeah.
They missed the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
And they added her. This team was third from the bottom. They add her and they go to the playoffs in 1 year. And every defense was designed to stop her.
Right.
I got news for you. And I send these funny videos of all these Angel Reese bricks. And the guy says it, how many times can she be this wide open? And it was like, she's wide open, brick. Like, no one even is afraid of her. No one would leave Caitlin Clark that open.
No.
Anywhere on the court. Okay? So.
Yeah. So she didn't shoot her normal percentage because not a lot of open shots there.
But she led the league in assists.
I know.
I mean, I keep saying this, and no one gets it.
And she still scored 20 a game, didn't she?
No one gets this. The girl who won the MVP, A'ja Wilson, who many regard as the best basketball player in the world, and I do too, right now.
And she got to the playoffs.
Two people. She's a two-time defending world champion. They were going for a three-peat.
And she was a defensive player of the year.
Yeah, she does it all. A'ja Wilson's the best player in the world.
She didn't win it this year.
But here's the thing that Molly Karam can't get through her thick skull, or anybody else for that matter. Two players in that league, the best player in the world, finished in the top 20 in 6 categories: A'ja Wilson and Caitlin Clark. Mm-hmm. How does that not register to you?
Dude, you know a 2024 moment that I forgot about?
She was my other great moment.
That has to do with this?
She is my other great moment of 2024.
The WNBA All-Star Game was...
Wow.
best All-Star game of any sport I've ever seen.
Wow. Because they were playing.
They played.
They were playing.
And the people who didn't get to join that Olympic team, it looked like they all had a conversation that
I'm going to
said,
tell you something.
fuck them.
You know, this is an unpopular take, but the best basketball team in the world women didn't win the gold medal.
It was the younger team? Or the less...
The best women's basketball team in America did not win the gold medal. I'm just saying.
I mean, dude.
Go ahead. Argue it.
They had Caitlin, Enrique, Jonquel Jones.
Can you talk about an all-star backcourt? Those two?
I can't remember the woman from Atlanta. She's good. Was it Ryan Howard? I don't know. She might have been on the Olympic team.
She might have been. But that point is, the best women's basketball team we assembled didn't go to the Olympics.
They had Angel.
Yeah.
Oh, they also had NECA.
Yeah.
NECA's good.
Yeah.
Wnba.
Okay.
Her sister is Chennai.
I'm telling you, the team that didn't go, holy shit.
Dude, they wore that team out.
I'd be more afraid of them.
Dude, they fucking wore that team out.
Oh my God.
Made them look bad. Taurasi barely played, just stood there.
And Diana Taurasi could have elevated her status just by being a pro. We always talk about my father's one of the best. Whenever you leave a place, make sure that you leave it in a better state than when you got there. Diana Taurasi could have pushed this forward like nobody's business. She's on the Mount Rushmore of all-time greats women's basketball players. Trust me, she is. And if she had done the one thing, she's won 5 gold medals. If she had given up her spot, said, you know what, I'm good, give it to Caitlin. Do you know what that would have? That would have been the greatest story in sports last year. If she had done that, but she couldn't, and that tells me a lot about her. Because if you really want to grow this game, that would have been the best way to grow.
What'd she win, her sixth medal
gold
and
medal, barely played.
Kind of weird.
And by the way, when the Indiana Fever played her team this year, they swept them.
Yeah.
Cam Clark kicked the shit out of her 3 times. Like, give me a break. It was ridiculous. So, I mean, it's fucking ridiculous.
Brittany Griner was on there too.
Yeah, didn't matter. Cam Clark wiped her ass as a rookie, I might add, on the 3rd worst team in the league. Okay, so
her and Aaliyah
Diana
Edwards.
Taurasi could have taken a huge.
Aaliyah was on that All-Star team too, right?
Aaliyah Boston.
Aaliyah Boston.
From UConn.
Yeah.
I tell you what,
South Carolina.
I'm sorry, South Carolina. Yeah, I'll tell you what, Diana Taurasi missed an all-time home run here, and she could have done it. And what that would have done for her, you know what that would have done for this game? That's the story. They'll always look back. Remember when Taurasi gave up her spot? That's a story you remember the rest of your life. That's the kind of story.
That's when women's basketball changed.
That's when the game changed. When Diana Taurasi, the current GOAT, gave it up for an avid.
What a passing of the torch!
Yeah, that would have been the ultimate showing. If she had, Diana, you missed so bad on this. It's just, I don't get it. I just don't.
If she had said, "Look, I've had my time, and it's been a great fucking time,"
and this girl deserves it, and she deserves it. She's that good. She deserves it. If she had said that, you know what that would have done?
Think about what it would have done for the game.
Everything I'm saying. Do you know what this would have done for the game? She doesn't. This is what, and you know what? Stephen A. Smith didn't say it. Nobody said it. This is the first show talking about this. How Taurasi missed on this. No one's ever brought it up. I guarantee you.
You have.
I'm the only one that's brought it up. If she missed on this so bad, and I'll always hold
because I think it's a lot to ask of her.
I don't think it is.
But I think you're right in that it would have done so much more for how she's viewed than a 6th medal did.
Diana Taurasi. Let me give you an example of my hero, Larry Bird. I think it's God disguised as Michael Jordan. Ask Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan talks about that quote, what that did for him and for him. When Larry Bird said that. And by the way, that was when the Celtics. That was that '86 team that won that.
Is that when he put like 60 on y'all?
63 and Bird beat him. And he goes, I just think it was God disguised as Michael Jordan. That quote, and there was no internet. That quote got around the world with no internet faster than you could say fucking.
I've never heard that quote.
Yeah, I think it was just God disguised as Michael.
So what Michael said that kind of made him feel like.
Michael said that quote took me up 2 levels in the eyes of the public because Larry Bird said that. Everybody knew I was an but when Larry Bird said that, the world just kind of went, what? And that's when Bird was winning his 3rd MVP in a row, and the Celtics were winning their 3rd title in 5 years. Yeah. They were a dynasty, and they rolled the Rockets. Some guy named Elijah, when Bird kicked their ass, almost averaged a triple double. Just Bird wiped his ass with them, and. Samson, Olajuwon, the Twin Towers. Bird, get out of here. You're not worthy. Get out. I mean, that was Larry Bird. And Michael Jordan this day says that quote is the quote that put me on the map. Meaning the whole world was like, Larry Bird said that about him? Oh, who's going to argue with him? Okay? Diana Taurasi, you had an opportunity at a moment like that, and you missed it. And that's the difference between you and people like Bird. Bird gets it. Bird always got it. You still don't. And I don't know why you don't. To me, I chalk it up to petty jealousy because you can't be this stupid. Okay, you're just bitter because you did all these things and you didn't move the needle. No one gave a shit. No one watched you outside of like diehard basketball fans. And again, they should have watched you, but they didn't. So now you're holding it over her head.
Yeah,
like that's bullshit. It's not her fault. Okay. So,
Caitlin Clark. And also, what good does it do now?
Yeah, can't do it now. It's the moment's passed.
As the game is in its moment of growth, and it's in this spurt.
What a story that could have been. That would have been the story. You might have won the Nobel Peace Prize for that. Fucking Christ's sake.
All right, so we're 25 minutes in. We're not doing what we said we were going to do,
which is look at the playoffs.
Yes,
I'm sorry. We had to talk a little basketball. And we had to talk some feel-good basketball because Caitlin Clark's a feel-good story too. Anyway, the playoffs are set. Detroit bent over Minnesota. Nobody thought that was going to happen. So much for that depleted defense, Lawton.
Okay, so I'll go through the games. So these are the matchups in the wild card round of the playoffs. Man, I wish I had some more coffee.
We're going to have to. Damn it.
Nah, we don't have time for another cup. It's already midnight. We'll make this last. Do we have any candy out here? Well, we're supposed to look for Werther's. Remember?
What the fuck is a Werther?
It's one of those like butterscotch candies.
Oh, that thing. No, we don't have those.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, we put them in cinnamon. We put them in like cinnamon stick versions.
You have like a lifesaver or something?
No.
I need a flavor with my cigar. I can't just.
We have chocolate.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I can offer you.
No. I appreciate you trying to offer me anything. I just can't do chocolate right now.
Anyway,
so the first game.
The playoffs are set here.
Playoffs are set.
Let's go through. This is wild card weekend.
This is wild card weekend. Next Saturday, January 11th, my mother's birthday.
Ooh, there you go. Wait a minute.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Her birthday's on the 11th of January?
Yeah.
So is my older brother.
Really? Mark?
Yeah, Mark.
All right, so the first game, 4:30 p.m. on January 11th.
Saturday.
Chargers-Texans.
That's an interesting game.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that if I was the Texans.
That's an interesting game.
Harbaugh on the road.
Yeah, the Chargers were the final nail in Mr. Mayo's coffin. They bent the Patriots over in a way that I haven't seen in quite a while. On their field, I might add.
Chargers have some pretty good wins this year.
They have a pretty good quarterback. And Harbaugh's proven he can coach. The man can coach. Say what you want about him. The man can coach. I mean, they were not in the playoffs last year.
That's true.
So,
and it seems like the Texans have not.
I can't figure them out.
Yeah, I don't know, something weird because everybody fell in love with them last year. C.J. Stroud, the young receivers, Dalton Schultz, and it just felt like and what's his face, D'Amico Ryans.
You know what's frustrating about them?
This year's been weird.
From a talent perspective, they should be better. Even with the injury to Diggs, they should be better. They've had some injuries.
Tank Dell tore his knee up too.
I know they've had some injuries.
That was last week.
Yeah, they've had some injuries. I'm not saying they haven't, but they had enough talent to overcome that. And look, I'm not saying they would have overtaken Kansas City. I mean, Kansas City again farted their way. They should have lost half the games they won. Let's be honest here. Go look. If you think I'm making that up, go back and look at all the different ways that fucking team won. Talk about a horseshoe up your ass.
Dude, we're not picking these yet, but I'm a little scared for the Texans in that game.
I would be too.
I think that's a game where a road team could come in.
That is to me, that is a coin flip game, and I'm saying that in the games in Houston. It's a coin flip game. I agree with him. We're not going to pick it tonight. We will pick it before it happens, but yeah, that's a coin flip game. I agree. What's the next one?
Okay, the next one, Saturday night, January 11th at 8 p.m. I don't know how I feel about this game. Steelers-Ravens. Division game. Ravens are the 2 seed, I guess?
Yeah, Pittsburgh's going to get bent over.
I know. That just doesn't feel like a game to me.
I don't look at it.
But it's a division game, and sometimes that can close the gap.
Baltimore just went into Pittsburgh and bent them over 34-17. And trust me, it wasn't 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
and trust me, it wasn't that close. If you watch the game, it really wasn't that close. Now, Pittsburgh was missing Pickens, I think, at the time. Maybe he had just come back. I don't know.
Pickens had a bad day today.
Yeah, he hasn't. People have been picking on him.
Yeah, what's going on there?
I don't know, but the wrong people are saying the wrong things.
Well, because he seems
meaning the wrong people mean they're pros. They know what they're talking about.
He seems to be a guy that gets frustrated within the game a lot. At least that's how they cover.
He's very immature.
Yeah.
And by the way, I can't argue with it because I've seen it.
Well, yeah, when you see all the clips.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen enough times where it's like, all right, they're not picking on him. This is happening.
All right, so neither of us love that game.
Baltimore. It's in Baltimore too, by the way. That could get ugly. That could be a bum blast.
Yeah, that's like that day of games doesn't really make me.
I think the San Diego-Houston game can be a classic.
It could be good.
That could
Classic?
be. Meaning it could be a one-score game. It could be a 38-35 game. I think it could be.
Well, that would be good.
I think it could be. I think both those because I don't think either defense is great. I think both offenses.
I'm just really not excited about an AFC North matchup.
You don't like the AFC North.
Yeah, I know.
You've made that clear.
I know.
He hates the AFC North and the NFC West. Let the record show.
Yeah, in terms of like if I give a fuck,
those two are the two divisions he least gives a fuck about. He said that many times. So anyway, go on.
All right, next game is Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m. Another game I don't know about.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Broncos at Bills.
Yeah. The only thing I can say about that is the Broncos are they play in Denver and they get weird winter there too. So the cold won't phase them.
Well, and also
they're not going to lose because they're.
I feel like they've kind of been the underdog, underappreciated.
Look, I did call that one right.
What?
In the preseason, I said Denver was going to make it I called that one. That's why I didn't get a lot right this year. That's one of the ones I'm going to take a victory.
I mean, kudos to you because I always bet against Sean Payton, but that's a mistake. He's obviously he's a good football mind.
He can coach. He's a dick, but he can coach.
But that one I'm leaning towards the home team. The Bills are a really good team.
Josh Allen, I think it's safe to say, has had his best year as a pro.
You think he's the MVP or Lamar?
That's a good call. I would say I'll tell you why I'd give it to Allen because
over Saquon.
Yeah, because Allen's they lost Diggs.
Yeah.
They got better. Mm-hmm. Like they got better, and Allen has played better.
How many quarterbacks do you know in the history of football that lose their number one?
Play better the next
year. Have a career year.
I don't. That's what I'm saying.
Has it ever happened?
I don't know, but they got the 2 seed and the Ravens, who have a ton of talent. They have way more talent on their offense than Buffalo does, and they're looking up at them. So you tell me. But I know Lamar's got a couple better numbers, but it's comparable. But he has the more talented team. Yeah. By a country mile.
Jeez, there's a lot of games next week. So that's the Sunday afternoon game at 1 p.m. Mm-hmm. Then at 4:30. To me, this is the game I'm looking forward to the most.
Okay.
Packers-Eagles, 4:30 on Sunday.
This is going to be a dog.
In Philly.
This is going to be a dog.
Jalen Hurts, I don't think he's played in a few weeks. Didn't he get a concussion 2 weeks ago?
I don't know what happened. I think that this was a precaution. They didn't need the game.
This is a dangerous fucking game for Philly.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Jordan Love left today's game with some leg issue.
The thing about him is he gets hurt a lot.
I really hope he's healthy.
Yeah.
Because remember what they did to Dallas last year?
Oh, I think everybody.
Now, I don't think Philly would fall asleep like that.
Wouldn't that go down? That would qualify as a long-distance loafing.
Oh, if they did that?
What they did to them last year?
Oh, without a doubt.
That was a long-distance loafing before we knew what it was. Okay, that's what
Dak was talking Super Bowl.
Dude, they bent Dallas over so bad. In that
Shocked
game.
them. Oh. Shocked everybody.
Dallas was wanking from the blanket for a few months after that. They were,
and really, the Packers found themselves at the end of that year.
Dallas couldn't sit down for a while after that one.
Now the Packers have been that good for a year, and I don't know. This is a dangerous game for Philly.
Look at the division the Packers are in.
Ugh.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a 15-win team and a 14-win team in their division.
And what, the Packers were 11?
They're third. They won 11.
And today they didn't even play as hard as they could. They could have easily won 12 games. Yeah. But it didn't mean anything.
No.
Okay, so that's the game I'm most excited about.
That's going to be a hell of a game.
Then Sunday night, okay. I'm excited about this game too. Sunday night at 8 p.m.
Might be a show. Might be a show.
Jaden Daniels against Baker Mayfield.
I can't wait to see this.
That's an exciting game.
I'm not going to lie. As much as I love Baker, I am rooting for the Commanders.
Yeah.
I live here now. I think I've lived here 7 years now. I think I can root for them. They're not my team, obviously, but I can root for them. I like them. I love the new ownership. I loved him at LSU. I kept saying I was hoping that they would fuck us up and the Pats would get him.
Dude, my team's in that division, and I'm kind of rooting for Jaden Daniels.
He is a likable kid.
He really is.
He gets
Have you ever heard him act like a dick?
He doesn't act like the donkey in Chicago. I can tell you that right now, America. Joel. Oh, Jay, you mentioned the point. The small sample size. Actually, Joel, if you go back to USC, it is not a small sample size. He was a diva then. He's a diva now. If you don't believe me, Mister, I don't want to.
Jaden Daniels was the better quarterback then.
Shannon Sharp said it. They went for a leader. These guys took a diva. Shannon Sharp nailed that one. I called it first for the record, but Shannon Sharp also nailed it. He was the first one to say what I said.
You called it in college.
I called it in college.
We talked about it in college because I remember that night. I think we were recording.
Well, the Patriots were picking third.
No, but before that ever happened, in the middle of the season, he had that game where he was crying in his mom's arms.
Yes.
Remember, we were just kind of like,
yeah, what
look,
are you
okay,
doing?
I mean, some people have overreactions, but it was strange.
It was beyond strange.
Just the bawling in her arms after a loss was kind of like,
As I kept saying to people,
doesn't seem mature.
when I called him the Black Aaron Rodgers, is that he is his I'm saying talent-wise, yeah, but in here, he was asleep that day or that week when they had those classes because he is such a it's so, and that's I got news for you. If the Bears fuck this up in terms of getting the right coaches and people in here to nurture this kid, he's going to be a bust, a total bust. He's got talent, he can play, but as a lead, this guy ain't taking you nowhere. Someone's got to change his attitude. I don't know who it is, but you got to find a guy that can get to him.
Back to the playoffs.
Yeah.
I believe the Commanders already beat the Bucks this year.
It was a hell of a game.
Didn't they though?
I think it was close too. Yeah.
In Tampa,
I
maybe.
think they beat him in Tampa, but it was a pretty good game.
I'd be leaning Commanders in that game
I
too.
might be wearing a Commanders baseball cap.
No, I'm not doing that.
They're the home team.
So I know,
Home
but they're
team.
in my division. I'm a Giants
That's
fan.
true. You have.
I'm not gonna.
They're in the other conference.
Look,
I can kind of get away with it.
I'll root for them. I'm not putting their hat on.
Fair. You know what? That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. They're in the other conference. I don't see them.
Exactly.
That's fine. I get that.
I would put a Jet hat on if they were going for my dad.
Like, I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of rooting for Buffalo. They've never won anything. They've got great fans.
You know, that's big of you. That's big of you.
I won't wear their gear,
I do have great fans.
but they are loyal, respectable fans, and I want them to know that not all Patriots fans are bandwagoners like me who have been a fan since I was 5. So
There's one more game.
What's the other one?
Monday night. Remember how they do this now?
I love this.
They give you 2 Saturday, 3 Sunday, and 1 Monday.
It's wonderful. The NFL never fucks this up. They never do.
They know how to spread it.
They know how to sell it.
Okay, so I don't know about this game. I feel bad for the Rams. It's the Vikings at the Rams.
I got news for you. Fireworks.
That's some high-powered shit.
That's gonna be one of those 41-38 games. I'll tell you that right now. And by the way, the Rams are at home.
Yeah.
And they've got 2 outstanding receivers and a very good running back.
Like the Viking defense
And Matthew
is pretty
Stafford
good.
didn't forget how to throw a football.
No, he remembers.
Sean Payton, that team has won a Super Bowl in the last 3 years. I'm telling you right now.
Sean Payton.
It's not Sean Payton. What's his name there? The young guy.
McGrath. What's his name?
McAvoy? No.
McVay.
Sean McVay. That motherfucker can coach.
Dude, do you understand the ridiculousness that is the coaches the Washington football team has had over the past 10 years and let go of?
This
McVay,
is why,
Shanahan.
people are talking.
Who else is out there? I mean, this is a good.
There's 3 or 4.
Was Ben Johnson one?
I think LaFleur was on that staff too.
LaFleur?
LaFleur was on that staff. No, they've had. The Commanders let go of all but the wrong one.
Remember when did they hire Jay Gruden?
Didn't
they hire Jay Gruden?
He was terrible. That was all his brother. That was reputation. He wasn't John Gruden.
That was name.
That was name only. It was a name mutation. Not a reputation, a name mutation.
If I pee real quick, are we going to continue?
Yes. This is a good discussion. This pee break, Tom's pee break, brought to you by Bailey's Coffee and Bailey's. Bailey's and Coffee tonight.
Do you have a lifesaver?
Yeah, I know. Oh my God, he's unbelievable. It's like, don't trust me. He's not just gonna take a piss. He's gonna go. My pantry's right on the side of that on that wall on the other side. Don't be shocked if Tom's gone for a few minutes. Looking for a little bit. What can I get quickly? Won't notice. Your paper rattling. We won't hear because the door's closed. But Tom, don't think I don't know. I'll be shocked if he comes right back out. Okay. And by the way, if he goes in the pantry, I won't give a shit. It'll just be fine. A little quick rummage. You know what though? If he finds there's a Tupperware thing in there with chocolate chip cookies all whipped thing. If he finds that, we might be finishing this out just us. Just saying. You have to give him a minute. See. I'm not gonna. If he comes back out, we're not gonna say nothing. It's taking a while. Just saying. Taking a while. Wait. He's thinking about it. Do I go? Do I not go? Will he know?
Is it okay if I bring airhead bites out here? It's the closest thing I can get to without scrounging through your shit. It was right on the counter.
I was literally telling our audience in Italy and Belgium that my pantry's on the other side of that door, and don't be surprised if Tom takes a detour. And I said I wouldn't care. He's family. Go
I
ahead.
didn't go to the pantry.
I know, but I wouldn't be listening if he does. It'd be great.
I was thinking about peeking in there. Gotta have some
I said he's in the
lifesavers
hallway
there.
right now, and he's thinking, "Do I go? Do I not go?"
I'm like, have some class. Have some class.
I told you he was thinking about it.
Act like you've been here.
Oh my God! I wouldn't have cared. I'd be like, "Did you bring out something for me too?"
Well, I wouldn't have done that. That's why I brought the whole bag out. In case you wanted some airheads.
No, what I was saying, I forget. I'm not going to tell him it was in the pantry. Because if I do, he's going to run back in there.
So unfortunately, that's the whole first round.
But still, that game
What?
out in LA, out in SoFi, that Minnesota Rams game, fireworks, baby.
Monday night.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. That's going to be a fun football
Dude.
game. I'm just telling you right now. That's going to be
The
a fun
first
one.
3 games, all right, they could be good games. I'm not that excited for them.
The best chance for Donnie is the Chargers-Texans. I wrote in the first 3.
Dude, yeah.
In the first 3.
Yeah,
In the second 3, it's definitely Green Bay. Philly is the first choice.
Every one of them is a great one.
Yeah, everyone's a great one. And the Monday night one's going to be fun. I'm telling you, this is going to be fun. Look, the hope is that Pittsburgh doesn't bend over or get bent over. That's the thing. 'Cause
Yeah, give Baltimore a fight.
If they give them a fight, then it could be a great weekend. That could be the game that just turns
Because
everything.
it's the Saturday night game. You got to
Yeah.
make it good.
Yeah. But it shouldn't be that one.
The first Saturday night game, when
You know
it's
what
an
they should do?
absolute Donnie,
They should flip Baltimore in. They should flip those 2 games. They should have the Chargers-Texans game at night. That'd be better.
they always put the Texans in the 4 o'clock spot on Saturday.
I hate that. They should put them back. They should. You know,
Like the TJ
look at
Watt-
this throw. This fucking tell you,
Dude,
Bo Nix.
How many people missed on Bo fucking Nix?
Everybody. Everybody.
When did they pick him?
He is up for Rookie of the Year, justifiably so. There, and look at that rope. Fucking, that was a rope. I mean, yeah, of course you get 3 touchdowns this week, Cortland, you donkey. Now that it doesn't count, ass wipe.
Cortland Sutton at number 1.
Yeah, that's why I had
I
him.
mean,
Look at this. Oh,
he caught it.
Wow. That's the catch of the year right there.
Wow, look at this.
I
Oh,
love
but he's
the-
out of bounds.
No, but
Oh, it was the
there was
defender
this
that hit
guy.
it.
Look, puts it up in the air. Let me tip it up. What could go wrong?
Wow.
You never tip a ball up in the end zone on defense. Never. You never know who's around you.
You know what it's
never
like?
do
It's
it.
like in basketball.
If you're in
when
the end
when
zone, bat it down.
It's like in basketball, saving the ball under your own rim.
You never do it. 'Cause
Awful.
You just never. Look at this rope. I'm telling you, Bo Nix.
Who was that receiver?
Valet.
Never heard of
Is
him.
it Valet? Valet.
Or is it Veal?
Veal? Valet?
Maybe he's Italian.
Look at this. Fucking Jesus. They bent him
Oh,
over.
shit.
Oh!
38 Nadsy?
They bent him over.
Dude, if you're KC, look, you wanted to rest your players, but losing 38 nothing
Let me
still
tell you
feels
something.
weird.
People forget this. This is one of the ass bag ones that they won. Denver should have beat them in KC this year. It was a blocked field goal,
Blocked field goal.
which was like an extra point. Denver should have beaten them twice. So this is not a fluke, by the way. You can talk about no Mahomes, but they should have beaten Mahomes on the field in KC. So don't sleep on Denver. They're going to Buffalo. That's the problem.
Largest shutout win.
I promise you, Denver is not going to be phased by the cold in Orchard Park because they play in the Rockies. So they ain't going to be phased by it.
That's a cool stat.
So, yeah, it is.
On the day that you clinch a playoff berth,
That's pretty decisive.
second largest deficit of a shutout.
So
Herbert versus Aiden O'Connell.
yeah, so those are going to be great. I think they tell you that the one is the Pittsburgh Baltimore game.
That could turn the weekend.
That could really, because then it puts more pressure. That could be Pittsburgh needs to show up. I mean, and by Mike Tomlin, if you were ever going to outcoach somebody, now's the time. Now is the time. So,
The thing is, that Baltimore team has so much more talent.
but Baltimore
Their
has a way of
offense.
wedding themselves in the playoffs. They've done it too many times.
Against teams that are better than them, though.
I don't think talent-wise, I don't think a lot of them were.
Maybe you're right.
They've lost some games at home, like Tennessee, and they had more talent than if they did.
In the playoffs, have they done that?
Who's going to tell me Ryan Tannehill can hold fucking Lamar Jackson's jock
They got beat by Tannehill?
at home? It was in Baltimore.
Yikes.
So I don't know. So look, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'd predict Baltimore right now by 3 touchdowns easy. maybe more. But Pittsburgh does have their defense healthy, and if there is a defense that can slow these guys down, at least that knows them, it's Pittsburgh. That's the only thing I can say about it. The quarterback's going to kill them for me. Who's the quarterback? I mean,
did you see that throw and catch? Well, holy shit!
That's a hell of a catch. That's good coverage. That's better.
Is that Quentin Johnson?
I don't know. That's a damn good catch.
That was a great catch.
Yeah, it was.
On the run, one hand.
34-20 and Chargers 11-6
in Vegas.
Yep. So Raiders 4-13.
Who are they playing again?
Raiders in Vegas. They're playing. They're playing
Texans.
The Texans. They can win that game.
Yeah,
they can. Just telling you. So anyway, that's gonna do it for our show tonight. We will return.
Should we just finish these?
We're killing the time. We can still stay.
No,
here.
but we might as well talk.
We can still talk. We can. Anyway.
Oh God. If we have to.
I'm trying to keep the minutes down. One of the criticisms that our segments tend to go a little long. I'm just saying. Every now and then.
We'll stop watching after 10 minutes.
No, you got to keep watching. Some of the good stuff is at the end. But anyway,
what else is there to talk about?
Pittsburgh hasn't won a playoff game in 8 years.
Wow.
And they keep showing these Josh Allen highlights. There he is.
So, okay. Super premature look ahead.
Super duper premature?
Super duper premature.
It's super.
Without diving too deep. First thought, like gut feeling in 10, 15 seconds. Who's your pick from each league to go to the Super Bowl?
Right now, it's Detroit and Buffalo. Right now. Because if you ask me which two teams are playing the best right now, but it's those two. And the first time they met, it was an epic battle. 48-42. Nobody punted. It was crazy. So now look, can KC fuck that whole thing up? Yep, they're the 1 seed. And they've outcoached everyone except for Buffalo, who beat them pretty convincingly when they faced them. But it was in Buffalo. They face them again, it will be in KC. So they're the one that can fuck this up. Would I be surprised if KC comes out of this? No, because I've seen Buffalo choke, and I've seen all these teams choke in the postseason, but the Chiefs.
I heard some people talking about how in that matchup against Buffalo, KC tried not to show them a lot of different looks.
And that may be true. I don't know.
Who knows if that's true?
That could be true. I'm just saying that Buffalo has the X factor, and that's Josh Allen.
More than Patty?
Yes. He runs more. He's more of a dual threat right now than Mahomes is. Look at the numbers. I mean, he is. Mahomes did not have a good year.
But he lives for this shit.
He does. But he does. I'm not saying he doesn't.
He lives for this time of year.
This is the thing. If there are 3 teams that are in the AFC that are more talented than the Chiefs off the top of my head, and Buffalo is one of them.
So you said Buffalo, Baltimore.
Yep.
And who's the other one?
Buffalo, Baltimore. Who's the third one? Who's still in the playoffs? Let me look. Oh, they just don't put the screen back up. Buffalo, Baltimore.
So you got Steelers
and the Chargers.
Are you in the Chargers?
Chargers should have beat them. Chargers were in both. They wet themselves twice against them. It's like they won. These were all 1-score games. So.
Oh, are they same division?
Yeah. The Chargers can certainly run with them. Denver's defense is just as good. Denver should have beat them twice. So Denver's not afraid of them either. But Denver's going to lose to Buffalo probably. So they're going to be out of the equation. See, the thing about the NFL is, and again,
that kind of stinks.
It does. These guys are going to come. The more teams a couple of them are going to knock each other off. Mm-hmm. So that's the problem. Because the Chiefs are going to get the lowest remaining seed. Now, if that is Denver, because it could be, well, again, you don't want that because then Buffalo's out. But Buffalo has a better chance than Denver does.
Josh Allen in the playoffs is a sight.
Mm-hmm. But the Chiefs have lost 3 times in the playoffs. 2 of them to the guy that's retired, Tom Brady. They've lost only 3. Him and the other one who's not in is what's-his-nuts in Cincinnati. Burrow is the only other one that's beaten him in the postseason. So the other guy's retired. So none of the remaining quarterbacks have beaten this guy when it matters most. That's a problem. And I know for a fact that 2 of them have overwhelmingly more talent than they do. And Baltimore has the most talent in the conference.
Buffalo's last home loss,
Mm-hmm.
Week 10 last season to the Broncos.
Yeah. The Broncos are no joke. But the problem is they're going to be playing each other. One of them's going to knock the other one out.
I'm saying the last time the Bills lost at home was to the Broncos.
See, to me, it's got to be Baltimore. I'll tell you what.
That wets them? Or that
No, they finally beats them because they don't beat them. They wet themselves every time they play them. Buffalo and Denver have beaten Kansas City in certain situations. They have beaten them before. Baltimore never beats them. It's never beat them. It's ridiculous. It's like the 76ers against the Celtics. They never beat them. And beat said it. It's not, they always kick around. The first time they beat them was on Christmas Day. They haven't beaten them in fucking like 12 tries. So anyway, the problem is that those two teams are one's gonna knock the other one out, which is one less opponent that Denver has to worry about in terms of who could beat. KC has to worry about in terms of who can beat them. But let's just say that the lowest remaining seed is the Chargers. I wouldn't pick the Chargers going into Kansas City in the playoff. I wouldn't, even though I think they have a little bit more talent. They're not used to that. They're not ready for that.
The only two you could pick is Buffalo or Baltimore. Like
Off the top of my head, yeah. And Denver if they got there, but they're not gonna get there. Denver can beat them. Denver should have beat them in KC the first time they played them. So, but they're gonna be gone because Buffalo's probably gonna beat them. So to me, it's Baltimore or Buffalo that can beat them. But Baltimore, I think, has more here to gain because they really haven't beaten them at all. Lamar Jackson has something to prove. Lamar needs to get over this hurdle and beat this guy.
Yeah, Denver's in the first year of their whole shit.
Baltimore's been floating around for a while now as a contender. They need to break through. They're the team that should break. Talent-wise, should be them. But they have this tendency to wet themselves whenever they see that team.
I want to break free.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers. Tyreek Hill trying to get out of Miami.
They're almost as bad as the Patriots. They got some problems down there. Tua can't stay healthy. He's one hit away from being done. They wet themselves every time they get in a big game. They do. They have a lot of talent, the Dolphins. They always wet themselves. So I don't know
And
if
it seems like Tua's never healthy at the right time.
Nope, never. So I don't know about them. Maybe Tyree's right to get out of there because that team's never going to get to where.
He never should have left Kansas City.
I agree. But he won a championship. They threw a boatload of money at him. He was going to a playoff team. I get why he left, and it's Miami. A little bit better weather than Kansas City.
Just a great city.
Yeah. So I get why he did it. But to be wanting to get out, like, why would you jump ship? Yeah.
How long has she been there? 4 years?
I don't know.
3?
3. I think 3. This was his third year. This was his third year. So I
can't believe Mayo's the only one fired so far.
Well,
kind of a bad look.
tomorrow's Black Monday. They call it Black Monday because coaches are going to get fired tomorrow. I tell you that right now. I don't know who we're going to predict, but the fact that the Patriots didn't even wait on Mayo was like, get him out of here.
Well, the way Schefter was acting, the only other one besides Mayo he was leaning towards out was Doug Peterson.
In Jacksonville.
Which seems like a no-brainer to me.
Yeah, but Trevor Lawrence got hurt. I don't know. I'm not saying you're wrong.
I feel like that team's underachieving.
They have, but he's been here. He's been hurt too. He missed a lot of the season. I don't know they were underachieving when he was on the field.
Well, last year they brought in more talent, and then they didn't make the playoffs.
They nosed that.
That was bad.
Yeah. I mean, I know they had some injuries. They did, to be fair, but they didn't even make it. They just fell off the map. And this year they were worse. And again, he got hurt probably mid-season, but a little after that. But they were probably
they were bad by
then. They were bad then.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it wasn't like if he comes back they make a run at. Like Cincinnati made a run at this. They won 5 in a row to close the season out. The Jacksonville wasn't doing that.
Cincinnati's defense killed them.
Oh my God.
Killed them.
If there's a unit, that Cincinnati defense ought to be ashamed of itself.
Dude, Burrow and Chase set records.
Yeah, that offensively they're a Super Bowl team. Defensively, they're the worst. They're the bottom of the barrel. They really are, and they're 9-8 because Burrow and Chase had record years.
They were that good.
They were that good, those two. But they scored. I said this before. They lost 4 games this year where they scored over 35. 35 points or more. They lost 4 times. That's outrageous. They lost all 4 of those games. They're 9-8. I think they'd won 2 of those 4. They're in the playoffs. Just 2 of them. They lost 4 times this year.
And I feel like they didn't have T. Higgins.
No, but they still scored all those points.
I know, but once T. Higgins, he had a 3-touchdown game.
I know, but he doesn't play defense.
Wow.
The defense is what failed them.
No doubt.
So I don't. Yeah, the fact that Burrow and Chase did that without him is even more impressive.
But maybe if you had T. Higgins the whole season, You win a couple of those games.
Yeah, 50 to
your
48.
defense, right? That your defense gave up 30.
You put up 50 as opposed to 42.
And you sneak in.
I'm sorry, that defense is not getting a pass.
No way.
None of those guys should collect a paycheck. They should fire the coordinator.
I'm not trying to give them a pass.
They should fire the defensive coordinator. This is just that defense has got a lot of explaining to do. So
is the head coach an offensive guy?
Yeah,
What's his name?
he's pretty offensively. He's good. I mean, but that
Is it Zach something?
he's a good offensive coach. I don't know. Again, I don't know what their talent. I don't know how to rate their talent on defense. I have to look at it, but they were awful. I mean, they were awful.
I cannot believe
They were.
we're going to run it back for a fourth year with Brian Dable and Joe Shane. I can't believe
Is that definite? Is he definitely coming back?
I mean,
Tomorrow's Black Monday. We'll see. I'm not gonna. I think the GM needs to go first. First of all, I mean, but me personally, if you're gonna do this, fire everybody because the GM has failed on a massive.
The thing is, I heard Joe Shane say. I mean, not Joe Shane. I think it was Schefter said they've changed the rules about when you can start interviewing. You can't start interviewing until next weekend.
Well, the Jets already had Vrabel in,
I know.
and he was still playing.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So clearly, that's not true. So the owner can do whatever he wants. The owner can have.
But he said they changed some kind of rule so that.
Well, he went down. Vrabel went down to. He didn't go to New York. He went to Florida. The guy's home. The owner. He met him in Florida. He didn't go to New York for that interview.
What was he talking about?
I don't know, but it was Woody. He flew him into Florida to his mansion or whatever for the meeting. That's where that meeting took place. That's what Shefty said today, or the other day on NFL Live.
But he said there's not as much of a rush to fire everybody because there's some kind of extension. So he said teams could take a few days.
Okay.
Maybe because you can't do any signings yet or something. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
He said something like that.
Well, anyway, the point is that you've got to find. I mean, the Giants are just as big a mess as the Patriots are.
Bigger.
There.
You guys have your quarterback.
We have the one thing where that's where the one place we do have our quarterback. I think now if they don't do something fast, they're going to lose him the same way they lost Mac Jones. I was convinced after the first year when the Pats made the playoffs and he won Pro Bowl and we're up to Jamar Chase Rookie of the Year that we had our quarterback. And then Donkey Dick hires fucking Matt Patricia and Joe Judge and destroys the kid. I've never seen such a. I can't believe to this day that he made that decision. I mean that's the biggest sign of his ego, and it's right up there with letting Brady go. You don't bring in these two idiots, these two boobs, to coach your second-year quarterback.
Here it is.
So
NFL says teams can't interview employed head coaches until after wild card. That was the extension.
That's what it is. Okay, so Vrabel is not currently employed.
Exactly. Same with Rex Ryan.
Yeah. Do you think the Jets would bring him back? I hope you're kidding. What is he going to do? He's a boob.
It's just so weird the way he's kind of begged for the job on TV.
That's the thing. He's a boob. He's not a coach. He's an ego.
No, but the last time he was there, two AFC Championship games
He lost them both.
with Mark Sanchez.
Lost them both. And then he lost his way out of it because they folded so fast. It was like he was there and he was gone.
Well,
And then he folded. He failed in Buffalo. He was in Buffalo too. He failed. So they didn't make the playoffs once in Buffalo.
they hired him.
Yep, it was 3 years. They didn't even make the playoffs once.
I don't even remember that.
So I mean, he's not the guy.
I wouldn't go with him.
I wouldn't go with him. He's a defensive guy. You need an offensive guy. I mean, to me, and again, this is the top candidate to me would be, and this is obviously the playoffs are still ahead of us, the Detroit offensive coordinator. Whoever that guy is.
Ben Johnson.
Yeah, he'd be your first.
Well, that's right, but you can't interview him until after the wild card round.
Yeah, so to me, he's the hot ticket out there. Look at that Detroit offense. Holy shit. I mean.
But remember, he turned a team down last year.
He did.
Who did he turn down?
Forget. But the Jets have some pieces in place. They've got talent, the Jets. So.
If you were Ben Johnson, would you go to the Bears?
That's a great question. I don't know that he.
Got quite the offense.
Honestly, do you know who I would give a better shot at succeeding in Chicago than Ben Johnson? By a lot.
Who?
Rex Ryan. Because
Really?
Rex Ryan wouldn't take that kid's crap. That kid couldn't pull any of that shit. Rex Ryan wouldn't stand for it. I will say that. Like a Sean Payton, but he's not going anywhere. But he's a guy who would straighten that kid out. Mike Tomlin could straighten that kid out. But those two guys, Rex Ryan's probably the one guy. Or maybe Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel could do it. I think there are guys out there that you have to have a coach that he's going to look at the quarterback like, sit down and shut the fuck up. Like, I don't give a fuck who you are. You've done nothing. And Mike Vrabel has 3 world championships as a player. He can go, hey, sit down and shut the fuck up. You know nothing from nothing. Okay? And I played with a guy named Brady. Sit down and shut the fuck up. Okay? So you need a guy like that to get to him.
That helps.
And there's not a lot of guys like that. Rex has the ego. He just doesn't have the resume. Vrabel has both. So as a player, and Vrabel went to the championship game with Ryan Tannehill as his quarterback.
So see, that's what happened to Rex Ryan is Rex Ryan came in and wanted to be the bully.
Yeah.
And his team bought in.
Yep, and they won.
And the defense was bullyish.
They had a good defense.
And
they had a really good defense too.
They were mean, but then they got to the big moment and failed twice.
Wet themselves.
And then it was kind of like, well, are we really the bully?
Yeah.
And they weren't.
They weren't.
So that's why it ended up.
Now, this is the thing.
Out.
Mark Sanchez, I mean, this Williams kid has more talent as light pinky than Sanchez has his whole body.
Right.
And they've got the receiving core, and he could.
That Jets team had a great offensive line,
what
though.
He could really make that defense really good. Ryan is a defensive guy.
Dude, that Jets team offensive line, DeBrickashaw, Ferguson,
Yep.
Mangold was their center.
Yep, they had
a good line.
Darrell Revis.
Offensive line, though.
Revis.
Really good offensive line.
Yeah, so I mean, to me, he at least has the attitude where he won't put up with it. I don't. If Vrabel and him are the two guys that are out there, that's who I think of.
Yeah.
If I'm Chicago, but the thing is, if you interview Vrabel, you got to say pick your GM Vrabel, because Vrabel went out of Tennessee because him and the GM weren't on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
So Vrabel
It's
has
interesting to let the coach choose a GM.
well, because he'll find a guy that he knows what he's looking for and he'll get it. I have no problem with that because the coach is going to be the first one to fall.
But usually you let the GM pick the coach. That's how most
They fired the
organizations-
GM in Chicago. They have an intern
and the coach.
Yeah, they fired everybody.
Right,
So to me, if you interview Vrabel, you go, who do you want for GM? And if Vrabel hears that,
But typically,
you might
what the
get it.
organizations do is it's the GM that picks the coach.
yeah. But if I'm the Chicago Bears, they've done this. They've done this how many times? They've failed every time.
The Bulls, Bills, and
Bills, Bears, Bulls, whatever they are. How about bums?
How about boobs?
The bums.
The Chicago boobs.
Chicago bums. Okay, because they're bums. All right. If I'm the bums, I'm like, hey, you tell us who you want. All right, head coaching vacancies. Well, Bears, Saints, Saints have Jets.
Saints is a bad job.
Honestly,
Out of those four, who's got the best situation?
The Patriots.
The Patriots?
Yep.
Bears have a lot of talent on their roster.
The Patriots have an ownership that has won, and they love Vrabel, and they probably would let Vrabel pick his GM.
The problem
The Bears should do that. The Bears.
You have to think. The ownership hasn't won without Brady yet.
Nope. Well, they had a playoff run with Mac Jones. They got to the playoffs, but they haven't done anything.
Yeah.
No. So they got to the Super Bowl with Bledsoe, '96. He crap bought the team in '93.
Brady just made everybody better.
Brady. A lot of people owe a lot of money to Tom Brady.
Yeah.
They owe their careers, a lot of them. So
a lot of W's.
A lot of W's. A lot of filled up resumes. A lot of. Well, there was this ring in 2000, and there was this ring.
Yeah,
this one might be my favorite one, but this one here was pretty good too.
You got me all of them.
Yeah. So anyway.
Holy fuck! It's 12:30.
Yeah, we should call it quits. This is what I was afraid of.
We really have a problem, America.
We do.
Excess.
We should change this show to run-on sentence or run-on conversation.
Long-winded Louie.
Long-winded Louie. That's a stinky one too. Anyway, we will return Wednesday night. We will preview the college football Final Four.
Are they both on Thursday?
One's Thursday, one's Friday.
Ooh.
Yeah. So we will preview that on Wednesday night, and we will also pick the NFL first round on Thursday. That's Wednesday night.
So are there 2 games on Thursday and 2 games on Friday, or it's just 1 and 1?
1 and 1.
There's only 4 teams left.
Only 4 teams left.
Jeez, this went too quick.
Thursday night is Notre Dame, Penn State.
This went too quick.
Friday is Ohio State, Texas.
Too quick.
I know, but it's not over yet.
It's just annoying that it's.
You need 16 teams. You need another round.
Exactly.
One more round. So I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. This is going to happen. You watch. Anyway, for the Redoubtable and the Highly Questionable, we will see you guys at midweek. Tomorrow is Man Up Monday. Get her done. Get her done.
Stay safe in the snow. It's a snowy Sunday that has turned into a snowy Monday.
Snow stopped, but there's no plowing.
Except for this ram routing that happened in Detroit tonight.